Hey everybody, it's Dipio. Welcome back to What Remains of Edith Finch. Okay, we're getting ready to cross this bridge. We learned about Dawn, Edith's mother, and her family, including her two brothers that died really, really young. And then how she kind of found herself through finding faith, which led her overseas helping people, where she met her husband, where her children were born shortly after. And then once her husband died, she kind of felt lost in the world again and brought them all here to live at the family house, where they expanded and built a little classroom for them to live in. Well, now we're going to go see what Milton's life was like before he disappeared.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
He got that from Edie. Alright, that's our way in. Is there something else out here we need to look at first? Nope. The construction of this is a little shaky, but as a kid, how cool would you think this room was? Incredibly cool. Does he have his own, like, pulley lift elevator, too? If there's one thing the Finch family respected, it was books. Architect in training, huh? That symbol looks familiar. I'm gonna have to look and see if this was the company that did Unfinished Swan, because that symbol looks like it might be from Unfinished Swan, and then like the splattered paint and the black and white relief might be like callbacks to that. Matter of fact, that little castle might have been from that too. Alright, let's see what Milton's story is.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
A flip book of a guy painting a flip book. Dang, Milton. Is Milton the character from the Unfinished Swan?
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Oh, I'm so looking that up before the next episode. That's why Milton disappeared. He went into another game. Oh, I'm looking that up. I'm looking that up. That's so cool.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
That's gotta be what it is. That's gotta be the connection. That is so cool if that's true.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
There's that island again. Okay, we came through there, so it looks like up is the next way to go. I hope that's true.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
for Milton's disappearance?
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Where he brought home hundreds of cans of salmon.
Everyone always told me
Whoa.
to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
Lewis is the rebel of the family. Tie-dye, black light, and marijuana. Okay, up seems like the right way to go, so let's explore here real quick. Oh, his room was built into a boat? Ha! Does this go? Oh, this doesn't go anywhere. Oh, I looked right past the ladder. As I am often wont to do. Oh, can come in through the window of the boat. What a wacky room.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Does it smell like that by chance? Is that what lived on? Looking at Lewis's habits, I'm going to say that that's probably true. Wonderland Turbo. Oh, is Lewis's story going to be a video game? Because that'll be cool. Wait, maybe not. Nope. She's just going to talk about it. Okay, let's see what he has to say.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
What did you play it on? I don't see a TV. Dude, you're gonna get weed in your keyboard. Okay. Well, let's see what Lewis's story is. Institute of Psychology.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
Into what? What did his mind begin to do?
wander.
Oh, I see.
I asked him to describe it.
Always
He
go
said
left.
he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
Dragon.
And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
Next generation
I
software.
worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Token. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Oh, this is so interesting. Oh, the fish are piling up.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis.
St. Louis.
He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her silver harp.
This is so, like, calm yet hectic.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Look, the screen's almost taken
He
over.
knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Ooh. Oh, what's he gonna do? We had a Nintendo Switch way before it became popular.
He began to forget the world we know.
Wait, what are they doing with the fish?
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with
Oh, he's climbing the stairs. Oh, no.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
So what is he? What is?
Wise Calico had insisted on inviting him.
What's happening to him in the real world right now? Tell me he doesn't like crawl into a piece of machinery or something.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Ah, yes. Ah, man, he did it. He stuck his head in that chopping machine.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Wow. Now, this is just my brain putting things together, but he is on the far end of the tree with Molly, who also had, like, delusions about what was going on in the world. So, I'm thinking there's something hereditary running through there. Wow. He bent his head down and got his head cut off by the fish cutting machine. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm not even walking on to the next place after that one. I'm just going to let that one settle in. Lewis, who lived in a psychedelic room, in a psychedelic state, ended up having psychic issues severely and paid for it. Okay, so we have covered Milton, we have covered Lewis. The only one left on the tree is Edith. So I'm assuming next time is when we'll learn about that and maybe wrap things up. That's my assumption anyway. I guess we'll find out. But until then, guys, thank you so much for coming to watch this, and I hope you join me next time for what I think might be the conclusion of this story. I guess we'll see. Take care of yourselves.